Alright guys, Raw Rustler here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the September 5th edition of Monday Night Raw. This is the 7th post-draft Raw, as well as the third one after SummerSlam, where we of course had our new Universal Champion, Kevin Owens, and that's how the show would begin. But just before that, the show would have a earlier today video, which was Stephanie and Mick Foley discussing the events last week. Stephanie basically saying she had nothing to do with the events. Mick Foley said he had to trust her because he wanted to believe her, and I guess that was it. I kind of missed it, so I had to rewind it and kind of put it together. The show would open, of course, then with Kevin Owens' title celebration. Now, Stephanie McMahon seemed a little bit enthusiastic about this, so that worried me about maybe Stephanie being just another sort of authority figure in charge of a heel champion, but it didn't seem like that was the case towards the end of the segment. Owens came out and he talked about how the fans were chanting, "You deserve it," at him. And then he said that, of course I deserve it, but what you people are trying to do is trying to make yourself special. You're not special, I'm special because I'm the champion. He would then be interrupted by Seth Rollins, who it seems to be, to me, that he's a babyface, and that's a good thing. He played a babyface in this segment, he played a babyface in this match. That's a good thing. The one thing I would do if I was Seth Rollins, and I'm now a babyface, is I would change something about my appearance. So that Seth Rollins that I look at, you know, the grey and black pants, the black hair, the black shirt, I would change something about my appearance to make me appear like a babyface. I personally would probably put the yellow streak of hair back in. You know, when he was a babyface in NXT, that's one of the most important features that really come to mind when I think of his outfit or what he looked like. But yeah, Rollins would come out, and in the end, basically, he would complain at Stephanie McMahon. Not complain, actually, let me take that back. He would ask Stephanie McMahon, more shout, actually, Stephanie McMahon, what happened last week? You were in on it, obviously. Stephanie said, no, I wasn't. Owens would then sort of antagonise Rollins. Rollins would attack Owens. The segment would end with Stephanie McMahon basically suspending Seth Rollins indefinitely. But then Mick Foley said, no, we're not having him suspended. Rollins, you'll be getting a match at the Clash of Champions for the WWE Universal Championship. Now, I thought this was quite a good segment, in all honesty. Rollins was very good here, Owens was good here, Stephanie was quite good here, and Foley was good here. But the thing was, and this is exactly what I put down, way to make the belt look important, WWE. Kevin Owens wasn't on screen for half of this segment. He was outside of the ring just waiting. And that, you know, you've just crowned your new champion and you needed to make him seem important. You did with the celebration part, but then Rollins came out and Owens was out of the ring, and the belt didn't look important here. So this is an iffy segment, kind of like that SmackDown segment last week with Miz and Ziggler. I liked it, but there's parts of it I really didn't like. But overall, like I said, a thumbs in the middle segment. We had Stephanie McMahon after the break backstage with Mick Foley. She would say, "Mick, you can't overrule me like that." And then Mick Foley says, "Stephanie, look, you hired me to make matches, and that's what I'm going to do. Please don't lie to me, because I know that's not the person you are." So Mick Foley sees the good in Stephanie McMahon. Is this a storyline they're running with Stephanie McMahon maybe turning babyface? I hope not, because she's a much better heel than a babyface. I remember the 2003 Stephanie McMahon as a babyface, so please keep Stephanie as a heel. Just don't have her slap everyone and kill them. We moved into, I believe... Oh, no, sorry. And by the end of that segment, 2 matches would be made. Sami Zayn against Kevin Owens would be the main event, which I have an issue with. And then Chris Jericho against Seth Rollins, which really cemented Seth Rollins as a babyface. And it also did remind me how many new feuds Rollins can have as a babyface. Owens, Jericho, Rusev. There's a lot of people that Rollins can work with now that he hasn't had the opportunity to. And that's great. It's always great to see fresh, new matches. Zayn and Owens is not a fresh, new match. Okay? It was a very good match on the show, but it's been about 8 weeks since these guys blew off their feud, and we didn't need them to get back into it this early. It should have been something down the line where Zayn wins a tournament to get the #1 contendership, and then you realise, oh my god, Owens is the champion, Zayn's the #1 contender, we're having that feud again. It should have been something that just happened instead of something that seemed forced. But yeah, as a segment, Stephanie McMahon maybe turning babyface. I'd rather it stay as a heel. We had our first match of the show. It was Bayley against Charlotte. I have an issue with this again. This should not be given away on free TV. This should be a pay-per-view matchup. And by the end of the show, I don't know if this will be a pay-per-view matchup. That's why. You can work it out. You've probably already... yeah. Anyway, so Charlotte and Bayley, they had a good matchup. Dana Brooke was at ringside taking notes, even though I didn't see anything written on a notepad the whole match. Well, actually, every time I saw the notepad, there was something on it. Bayley, it was okay, and then the break happened, and then it came back from the break, and it was like straight fire, like Becky Lynch. It was really, really good. I gave the match 3 stars in the end. Charlotte would inadvertently elbow Dana Brooke. Bayley would hit her with 1 Bayley to belly. Bayley would win. Good matchup, 3 stars. These women can have a much better matchup on pay-per-view. The 2 of the 4 horsewomen, so they should be having at least 4-star matches. If they aren't, then they're not. They need to be having 4-star matches to really keep this women's revolution alive. 3 stars, a good matchup. Bayley has pinned the women's champion. I think it's very early, and also one of my issues is the whole point why we all love Bayley is the fact that we had to watch her lose so much. We watched her lose to Charlotte and Sasha Banks, and she never really got her moment until Brooklyn, and that's why we all loved that moment, and we loved the chase to getting the belt. Bayley seems to be being rushed to getting the belt. By the end of the show, that doesn't seem apparent. But here, it seems like they are rushing Bayley to get to the belt. Maybe they'll do a 3-way Clash of Champions, but I really would slow Bayley's rise to the top down and have her. Honestly, I would have had the same result over the past 2 weeks with Bayley pinning Dana Brooke, and then I would have had her got to Charlotte, and Charlotte pins her. Charlotte pins her with natural selection. We don't want Bayley tapping. Bayley doesn't tap out. Charlotte pins her with natural selection, and then you can build the story of Bayley has to climb back up the roster. She has to beat Alicia Fox and Paige, who apparently isn't going to be there anymore, and maybe Nia Jax. You know, you can build Bayley back up as this courageous competitor that these people, these casual fans, these Raw fans, aren't going to know her as. Whereas I do know her as this courageous competitor, these Raw fans don't. So you really need to build her up again, instead of just shoehorning her into the title picture, because that's not what made Bayley great. Look at it like this. After Brooklyn, Bayley went downhill. Not by much, but she went down. The rise to Brooklyn and the moment of Brooklyn was the best part of Bayley's career. And they need to build Bayley up again as the babyface running after the belt, like Sami Zayn should be the babyface running after the belt, like Rollins should be, as it seems he's going to be, the babyface running after the belt. Sorry, my throat doesn't feel good today. We moved into another segment which would highlight some more cruiserweights for the division, and for the cruiserweight division. And I don't know if I've ever been more excited for cruiserweights in the division than these 3 names. Grand Metalik is a really good one. Mascara Dorada. I knew he would be because they trademarked the Grand Metalik. They changed his name from Mascara Dorada. The second 2 names are the exciting ones. Jack Gallagher, which people love Jack Gallagher. He's awesome. And Akira Tozawa. That, to me, is my favourite one. It's going to be bloody awesome to see Akira Tozawa on Raw. Can I just get a drink? Oh. I don't have any drinks. Damn it. Never mind. But yeah, Akira Tozawa seems like he's going to be on Raw. Thank Christ they are signing Akira Tozawa. Charlotte would then be backstage with Dana Brooke. She would basically rant at Dana Brooke saying it was all your fault I lost. And in the end she would end up slapping Dana Brooke. Please don't turn Dana Brooke babyface. Again, by the end of the night it doesn't seem like that's what they're doing. But this was fine. Charlotte shouldn't really be angry at Dana Brooke. She elbowed Dana Brooke in the face. But if that's the way they want to go with it, then whatever. I'm going to sneeze in a minute as well. That's me. Sorry about that. We then had Bo Dallas versus Kyle Roberts. Bo Dallas, when I saw him coming out, I honestly thought he was going to get squashed, because the rumour is, of course, he was arrested, and his WWE career is probably coming to an end. Then he faced a jobber and beat him with some move. I can't remember what the move was, but I was really shocked to see Bo Dallas win. He seems to have a new gimmick where it's a more stern and fired up Bo-Leave instead of Bo-Leave. It's more Bo-Leave, which is better, but I couldn't really give a damn about Bo Dallas, so whatever. Then we had Jericho backstage with Kevin Owens, you know, basically kissing his ass, saying, "Oh, Owens," but he's trying to angle himself for a title shot eventually, I imagine. Which, honestly, I feel like that's a program they are going to do. Which one would be babyface? I imagine Jericho, because Owens should never be a babyface. But, yeah, that was fine. And then we had the matchup, Seth Rollins versus Chris Jericho. Very, very good matchup. Really, really enjoyed this. Really good segments, great back and forth. Rollins would tease the face lock plant thing. I can't remember what you call it. I have no idea what you call it. He teased God's Last Gift, the cradle driver. Yeah, the Fisherman's Cradle driver. He teased the Frog Splash. Jericho would get him in the walls of Jericho. Rollins would make the ropes. Jericho went for a Codebreaker. Rollins countered. Super kicks. Just crazy. Really, really good stuff. In the end, Jericho went for a clothesline. Rollins ducked it. Turned him around. Pedigree. 1, 2, 3. Message sent to Triple H, which they really focused on. So I imagine that will be the feud after Clash of Champions. That's good. We really want that. That should be your Mania 33 match, to be honest. Very, very, very good matchup. Seth Rollins looked like a babyface here, hit suicide dives. He, to me, changed his arsenal enough. He did flashy moves enough to the point where I'm like, this guy's now a babyface. So I think on night 1, the Rollins babyface experiment has worked. 3 3/4 stars. Very, very good matchup. Really enjoyed it. Jericho was great in that match. Then we had the third match in the best of 7 series between Cesaro and Sheamus. Okay, now, this matchup was okay. In terms of wrestling, it's probably like 2.5 stars, but I'm grading this also on the booking, so 3 stars overall for the matchup. Sheamus destroyed Cesaro. Cesaro played up the injured back the whole matchup. They also noted how on Wednesday, these two men are going to be having a matchup in London, which, of course, we won't be able to see, which does suck. I wish they would upload it to the network or WWE, their YouTube page or whatever, but they won't. So I imagine Cesaro will have to win that one, because here, Sheamus won. Sheamus has a 3-0 lead. I think that is brilliant booking. I really, really like the fact that Sheamus, in the end, he went for the Celtic Cross. Cesaro countered it, and Sheamus just hit him with this huge backbreaker, and then would hit him with a bro kick. Really, really good finish. I thought this was a good match with 3 stars when you take the booking into account. Then we had Enzo and Cass against the Shining Stars. This was bad. 1 3/4 stars. The Shining Stars beat Enzo and Cass. I could not give a damn. Whatever. Sami Zayn would be interviewed backstage, and basically he said that me and Owens basically... What the hell did he say? I can't remember what he said. Owens would interrupt, and then, yeah, that was it. It was good, though, for whatever it was. I said it was good. Nia Jax killed some girl called Ann Espinoza. I think this woman's outfit was horrible. She was wearing jean shorts, and she couldn't pull them off like AJ could, and she was wearing some sort of top. Apparently she's a friend of Alicia Fox, which was a segment later on in the show, but she was killed with the Samoan drop scoop slam, but a much safer version where she had her in the Samoan drop, she put her into the scoop slam, and then did it. Much safer. You aren't killing this woman. Nia Jax wins, whatever. The club comedy segment. This wasn't very good. This was really bad. They would bring out the club. Gallows and Anderson would bring out old versions of the New Day, future versions of the New Day. It ended with the New Day coming out and attacking the old versions, and a match has been set for Clash of Champions. Gallows and Anderson against the New Day. Oh, God. Yeah, this wasn't very good. This was really bad, to be honest. My throat is horrible. Then we had Darren Young against Jinder Mahal. They are continuing the Titus O'Neil feud, whatever. Really, really bad. Again, just Darren Young won with a good check. After Titus O'Neil interference. Sorry. Alicia Fox was on TV for once, which was weird. It seems like next week they'll be having Alicia Fox against Nia Jax, which means that's the first opponent of Nia Jax's run, which will be an actual main roster person. Alicia Fox threw a tantrum at Nia Jax. Nia Jax pushed her. Alicia Fox threw a tantrum. That's all that happened. Again, the last hour of the show was not very good. Like, really. And then we moved into even more really bad stuff. Braun Strowman versus Sin Cara. Sin Cara cut a promo before the match saying that Braun disrespected the Lucha Heritage last week, and tonight he's going to make him pay. He didn't make him pay. He lost by count out. Now, if you're going to have Braun Strowman win, at least make him win convincingly, not by count out. Sin Cara basically was thrown on the outside and then just lost by count out. Whatever. Again, the last hour of the show wasn't very good. Then we had the Sasha Banks Bad News segment. Okay. I was worried going into this segment because I felt like one of two things would happen. I didn't think the thing that would happen actually happened. I didn't think what would happen would actually happen. So what I thought would happen is she'd either announce that she was injured or she'd announce the end of her career. They were both bad things, and I'm wearing this shirt now because none of them happened, thank Christ. Sasha Banks cut a very, very good promo here, and this is the best bit she has looked as a babyface. She drew emotion, she drew sympathy, she made me cry. She didn't make me cry, she got me kind of choked up a little bit, but she talked about the women's evolution and how it's not just about the women in WWE, it's about daughters and sisters and mothers in the crowd. And it's about how when Sasha was young, her and her mother, they collected cans to go to WWE events. And just as she's getting to the news, Dana Brooke comes out and she says, you know what, I need to make a name for myself again. I'm going to make my name off you and your back. Dana gets in the ring, Sasha hits her with a bank statement and says, you know what, the bad news, it isn't for me, it's for Charlotte, because at Clash of Champions, I'm going to be getting my rematch. So it is set. At Clash of Champions, it will be Sasha Banks against Charlotte for the women's title. Now, where does Bayley factor in? She'll probably face the winner. They're not going to do the triple threat yet. I feel like they're going to save that for Mania, probably. It should be saved, to be honest. It's a very big matchup and it's never happened, so, well, not to my knowledge anyway. It probably happened very early on in NXT. But Sasha Banks is back. Thank Christ she's back. I'm so looking forward to the rematch at Clash of Champions. I hope those women have a better match than they did at SummerSlam, which was a great matchup. I really did enjoy it. I overrated it a little bit, but it was a really, really good match. And I'm so happy Sasha Banks is back. I'm so happy. And then we moved into the main event. Sami Zayn against Kevin Owens. A very, very good matchup between these guys. Not as good as their payback match, or, of course, it wasn't as good as the Battleground match. But very, very good stuff. They teased an apron spot, which I thought, you do an apron spot in every match, guys. You really don't need to do one every single match. They teased the powerbomb on the apron several times. Zayn hit half and half on the outside of the ring. He hit half in the ring for a near fall. Blew Thunderbomb for a near fall. Exploder. Went for the haluva kick. Eventually injured his leg. Really good spot there. The injury to the leg would lead to him going for the haluva kick. Owens hitting him with a super kick. Then hits him with a powerbomb. Not a pop-up powerbomb, because if he pushed him towards the ropes, he would fall over. Excellent. I actually really liked that, even though nobody brought it up on commentary. Owens would win with a powerbomb, and very, very good matchup. 3.5 stars. Not as good as the Rollins Jericho matchup, but still a very good matchup. Owens would not get very long to celebrate. He would be interrupted by Roman Reigns, who would come out. Jericho would then come out. Foley would then come out and say that Roman Reigns versus Owens would be a matchup for next week. If Roman Reigns beats Kevin Owens, he will be added to the triple threat match. Here's my question. Why does Rollins get a free bye into the Clash of Champions match if he's now a babyface? Why does he get a free bye and Roman Reigns doesn't? They were both screwed out of the match by Triple H, so, I mean, oh well. At least the storyline makes sense that Roman should get an opportunity to get in that matchup. And that was the episode of Raw, and when I look back on the episode, the last hour outside of that Rollins Zayn match was pretty bad. So I think I'm going to give this episode of Raw a 6.5 out of 10. I loved the Rollins Jericho matchup, very good main event, very good match with Charlotte and Bayley, and I really liked the booking of the best of 7 match. There was a couple of good segments. The opening segment was okay, even though I thought Owens looked pretty bad. The title looked kind of pointless there. Obviously, there was really bad segments. The club segment was really bad. The Enzo Cass Shining Stars match I thought was really bad. Titus and Darren Young was really bad. It did make me laugh though. The Strowman squash was silly. What else was on the show? But the bank segment was very, very good. I really liked that. I thought it genuinely drew emotion, and that's the best she's looked as a babyface. So 6.5 out of 10. Okay show. SmackDown Live tomorrow, NXT the next day. Looking forward to the Cruiserweight Classic this week, and of course I'll have to predict Backlash on Saturday. Thanks for watching, guys. This has been Raw Russell. Like, comment and subscribe for more. Tell me your thoughts on this episode of Raw. What did you think to the Clash of Champions card now with a couple of matches announced? What do you think to Sasha Banks nearly teasing that retirement? And what do you think to Rollins as babyface so far? Do you think he's done okay, or do you think they've booked him badly? Thanks for watching. This has been Raw Russell. Like, comment and subscribe for more.